Hey everybody, Rune the Gaming Dad from the Arc Trade Federation, and today we're on Ark Survival Ascended, and we're going to show you how to make these, some custom paintings where you can take any picture that you want and put it on a painting canvas. You can put it on a flag, you can put it on a billboard. I use mostly painting canvases, but we're going to show you how to do that right here. So first things first, this is for PC. So the majority of the work is going to be done on PC. Being able to convert these images is going to be done on PC, but uploading them to your Xbox or your PS5, I don't have a ton of information on that. Leave a note in the comments if you want me to try and do some research for you, or you can join the Discord. It's free. The link's in the description, and we can get you there. So let's get started. First things first, you've got to go get a picture. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you some pictures that I have saved and the program that's used to convert them and get them in the right place for Arc to recognize them. Okay, so the first thing we need to get is we need to go get the ASA painting converter. I'll put a link to it in the description. The two gentlemen, they're both named Christian. I won't try to butcher their last names, but let me tell you something. They've done a phenomenal job in getting this program out and getting it to work really well. There's some bugs in it. Of course, it's Arc. There's going to be bugs. But we'll go over what some of those bugs are and how you can fix them. But first thing you want to do is you want to download this program and install it on your PC. So once we get that, we'll open it up and I'll show you how to use it. Okay, so we've got the program downloaded and installed on our PC. We're going to go ahead and open it up, and we'll bring it bigger just a little bit so it might be a little easier to see. But again, the two guys that made this, kudos to you. It's Christian Gallhart and Christian Walliot. If I butchered your name, I'm sorry, but phenomenal job. So the biggest difference between Ark Survival Evolved and Ark Survival Ascended is the sheer volume of dies. So the number of dies in Ark Survival Evolved was 25. In Ark Survival Ascended, it's 127. It's a just massive amount of coloring that they put in there. What that's done is it made it really easy for you to make your pictures that you do paint look really good, as opposed to kind of on Ark Survival Evolved. Making that coloring is kind of a pain. We'll get into that later in the video, but let's first start with a picture and what we want to paint. So let's make it really easy. So first things first, we're going to go to Open File, and we're just going to pick a picture here. So I've got the Ark Survival Ascended logo. Now it's going to let you pick what you want it on: a structure, you want it on a creature, you want it on a human, and then what target do you want: a canvas, a flag, wood sign. All of them are here. There is a new spotlight in Ark Aberration. I've done some testing with that. I'll show it to you at the end of the video. I'm sure these guys are going to update the video to make it look really good, but it's the definition of putting a square peg in a round hole, trying to make that work. But anyway, back to this. So we've got our file here. It's just the Ark Survival Ascended logo. And we're going to say, hey, we want it to be on a painting canvas. Then it's going to say, hey, multi-canvas. So do you want it just on one, or do you want it on multiple painting canvases? So what we've got here is we want to do it on a 2x2. So that means 4 total squares, but we want it to look 2x2. You can do it with just one, and it'll put it on there and it'll look great. But if you want to make it bigger, you can. And we'll get into the bug of that in a little bit. Now, all the coloring is on the left here. So you can choose to calculate just the best 5 colors to make it happen, but you can see, and we're going to go ahead and maximize this to see it, you can see kind of how crappy it looks when you do that. But if you do down here, and I'm going to move this over just so you can see it just a little bit better, down here where it says Enable All, look how much better the picture looks. Again, more expensive to make, but it's going to look a whole lot better in-game. So the output directory, when I installed this program, it automatically put it in the right place for the game to see it. So in there, and I'm going to try to cut this out and put it on the screen because navigating to this is going to be a real pain. I'll say it, and hopefully it'll be on the and get it on the screen for you. So it's wherever your game is installed at on your PC. So it's under Steam Library, Steam Apps, Common, Ark Survival Ascended, Shooter Game, Saved, My Paintings, and that's where it's going to put this. So again, we'll leave it up on the screen so you can navigate your way to it. But that's where it's going to save all the paintings, and it's very simple. All you do is click the bottom button where it says Convert to PNG, and it's done. You've got that file now saved in ARC. So when you open it up, and we get there in a second, you can see exactly how to make that painting. You can do this with any file you like. I have obviously the YouTube channel logo here, and I've got some other stuff from arcpaint.com. So it's a great website. If you haven't been there and you want to really get into some fun stuff with painting, arcpaint.com is great. That's where this weapons one came from, and this is where this blueprint one came from, and we'll show that to you as well in the video. So now that we're done with this program, we can go back in game and let's show you how to paint it. All right, so here we are back in game. We've saved our file to where it needs to be for ARC to recognize it. So what do we need? So first things first, you're going to need some painting canvases. They're pretty cheap to make. If you're going to do it on a flag, obviously you want flags, things like that, but this is super cheap to make. 4 fiber, 2 wood, 1 hide. It's pretty easy. The next thing you're going to need is a paintbrush. The auto spraying one doesn't work for this. You got to use the paintbrush. And the next thing you're going to need is a ton of coloring. So the beauty of Ascended versus Evolved is it actually shows you how to make each one of these dyes. You're going to need to have a pretty strong greenhouse to make this happen. If I just type in coloring, just the sheer volume of coloring you're going to need to make these more complex paintings happen is a lot. I will caution you on using the autocraft as you put all these berries in. Like this needs a marberry, this needs a marberry and verdberry, some of the new berries in the game, cyan berry, azul berry, the whole gamut. If you put just a bunch of berries in there and hit autocraft, it's going to miss some. So just be very careful when you make a bunch of them, because some are going to get missed. And there's so many that when you go to paint it, when we do it in a second here and paint it, it's going to say, hey, it's missing this one color. Then you got to go back to the industrial cooker and make it. So just be very careful if you use autocraft. You can put coloring in dedicated storage. Now, in the cosmetics tab is where all those colorings are going to go, and they don't weigh a thing. So you can leave them on your person permanently until you die. So if you want to put them in dead storage, you can. If you want to put them in vaults, things like that, you can do that. But it's going to take a lot of coloring. So in single player, let me give you the cheat code. It's called Cheat Give Colors. And you just put 100 after it. And it'll give you all the coloring. So if you want to take this out in single player like I'm doing now, test it out, make sure it's right. Then if you're playing on official or on a private server, you can go back and do that. So we've got our picture saved in the ARC data where it needs to be on the PC. We've got our coloring. We've got our paintbrush. Let's throw up our canvas. We're going to make it not snap for first so we can separate the two pictures. Then we'll enable snapping again. And we've got 4 here because we made the picture 2 by 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4. The beauty of this program is it's going to tell you exactly where stuff should go. So up on the screen right now is pulled directly from the website where you downloaded the program. And it's on an X and a Y axis. So if you're making giant pictures, we're talking 10 by 10, bigger than that even, it's going to get super confusing. Use this little picture as a reference to guide you. So let's go ahead and we're going to hit the very first painting canvas with the paintbrush, and we're going to go ahead and hit Load Paint. What it's going to show you is some of the other things that I've done already, but there's our ARC multi-canvas right there. It's 1x1y, 1x2y. If you make something that's 4x4, it's pretty easy to figure out. So 1x1 is the top left corner, based on the picture that we saw earlier on the screen. Look at all of the coloring just this little piece is going to need to make this happen. This is why I said make sure you've got all of them made, because sometimes parchment may not make it, or marine because it's using that blue for something else. It's just be careful to get all the coloring. So what we're going to do is hit Apply Paint. And you can see it goes through a lot, and we're just doing this one little small corner. It takes a while. On Evolved, it took a while as well to get each little piece done. but it also uses a lot more coloring this time around. In Evolved, it tended to lag and kind of space out when it was making the picture. So it does take a minute, especially the more detailed your image is. We've got a full black background here, so it's going to take a minute. But there is your first corner of the painting. So now we're going to go to the top right and hit load paint, and that is on the x-axis too, but on the 1y as well. So we're going to apply paint there. I've done pictures of my wife and kids. I've done pictures of the logo. I've done pictures of all kinds of things so far, and it seems to work out really well. But when this painting is done, I'm going to take you to, or show you, the one bug, as usual with Arc, the one bug that can screw things up. And when you spend all this time on a painting and it bugs out, it's not only disappointing, it's really infuriating. So now we're going to go the bottom left, which is on the x-axis 1 and the y-axis 2, and we'll hit apply paint. And just imagine if you did a giant painting, which I've tried to do, I've done a 10 by 10, actually figuring out where you are on that little map can be tough when you have all of these things that say multi-canvas and the x and the y-axis. That's why I always refer back to the picture, because it makes things so much easier to find out where you are. But it can be done. It just takes a long time to paint and a lot of coloring to do it. So now we're on our last one. It's the 2x2y. That would be the bottom right of this 2x2 painting. And again, using black as the background. Probably used a lot more coloring than I needed to. We could have made the image transparent. If you want to go into some photo editing software, take out the black background, just make it clear. And I probably would have saved us from using all this coloring, but it's true to form. If we're going to do it, let's do it right. And we just hit escape. And there is your painting. Obviously, I've done our logo. I've done a lot of other different things, but it looks really nice. Now, flash the warning sign up on the screen. Here's the bug with this thing. When you make multi-canvas paintings, especially big ones, so I've done this is in single player, I've done this on official servers. I've done a 5x5 logo of this picture right here. Sometimes when you log back in, parts of it are missing. It's just blank. There are times that you can just be patient and all of it will load in, and once it loads in after you've logged in a second time, it's good. If it doesn't, what you can do, if this is totally blank, just hit the paintbrush on it and just use any color you want and just kind of color in like the bottom here. It's really not going to notice it, but a lot of times that jump starts the image to get back into play. You look here, I did that a little bit, but no one's really going to know that it's there. So just put it in the bottom corner of it. No one's ever going to see it. So that is the danger with doing multi-canvas paints, is that. You can also put this on other structures too. You can put it on a vault. It's a little buggy with the vault. They're working on it because it does cover up part of the picture with the vault, so it's a little weird. But I want to show you one of these great things from arcpaint.com. So we're going to load in the military blueprints, and we're just going to apply paint. So if you're really OCD, you want to be OCD friendly, you want to put all blueprints in one thing, all picks in one place, hatchets, berries, meat. You can literally put a picture on anything you want, any structure in this game, to make sure when you walk by or anyone walks by, they know exactly what's in that structure. I love doing it. I think it makes everything look great. Obviously, Arc's got a little bit of a bug here. It says blueprints, but you can't really read it. But you can see here for all of my crops, I just have the picture right on the front of the fridge. And inside there is each one of those. So, again, it's not super tough to do. It just takes a little time to set up. So, again, if you have any questions, the link to the Discord is in the description, and it's free to do. We don't charge to be in the Discord. Come by, ask any questions, leave a question in the comments. I'm happy to answer everything you can. And for final, there is the spotlight, and we're going to jump out here. I'm going to go in creative mode and jump out for you. So I actually have the spotlight here, and I was actually able to get the logo on it. It's super buggy right now. You can see it's missing half of the words. Again, I actually had to make this out of it and then change the name of it to Spotlight and then reverse it to get it up there. I'm sure the guys that did this program are going to make it work as we move along. But just wanted to say thanks for watching. Please like the video if you can and subscribe to the channel. We greatly appreciate it. And we'll see you all on the next video.